Hello, guys. Good evening to you all, or good morning, depending on when you listen to this. We are in the fifth episode now of the WATTPOD.
Yeah, I think fifth episode now.
Yep. Make sure to please like and subscribe. Just thought I'd mention at the start of the video.
Yeah.
But today, as previously teased in the last episode, we have a different sort of setup now. Isn't that right? Walidafy.
Yeah, we're gonna question the reality on many things.
Many things indeed. To be honest with you, just two things.
Yeah, maybe a third thing if we spiral out of control.
Of course, which could happen actually. This
Which
is
always
sort of the
happens.
nature. Yeah. So, guys, what's going to happen is this week we are going to talk about conspiracies. I have got two main ones that I really want to focus on. We're going to get Walidafy's experience from that. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. And Faiq the real one, which is me, my Instagram tag. I will be reading some out. Generally, we just want some reactions. If you guys want to start a conversation in the comments as well, that would be great.
Yeah.
Just let us know how you find it.
Because none of you comment, so please comment.
Just comment something, man. Like even a hate message, just go for it, man.
Go for it, man.
You want to tease his glasses, my hair? No, just go for it, man.
Yeah, man.
We can take it.
We've seen a lot of it. So
Yeah.
We'll be happy to take more.
Well, yeah, 100%. But yeah, so what if a really quick question for you just before we begin? What is your current stance on conspiracies? What do you feel about them?
I like them. I think they're quite fun to read. I always like reading, like, obviously different perspectives and opinions and stuff. Some of them are completely out of just stupid.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of them are stupid actually. Yeah,
a lot of them are just completely just ridiculous, and I don't know why people believe in it. But yeah, I enjoy reading them and listening to them or whatever the discussion is on them.
In general as well, just before, because honestly, I have no idea how he's going to react to this. We haven't pre-scripted anything because we're not smart enough to do that.
He was in the car and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to tell you anything about these conspiracy theories. I want your raw, authentic reaction. And if they're like dead, I'll tell you if they're dead."
Yeah, well, okay, you'll get to know. But the thing about conspiracies, right? I was actually looking this up, and there's actually a definition as well. Now I'm not going to read it word for word because it's a little bit long. But the whole idea about conspiracies is that it's a way for the human mind to actually make sense of something. So by nature, you'd imagine that conspiracy theories, because of the box that opens up, the tangent you can go on, it actually opens up more mysteries and makes you question more things.
Yeah.
But actually, apparently, psychologically, the reason why humans love those is because they're trying to make sense of something and find patterns in things which don't already have them.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a therapy almost for the human mind.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, like, you know how you're like, "Oh, do you like conspiracy theories and stuff?" I wouldn't say like I like, okay, so do aliens exist? It's just an interesting conversation. But I don't like the ones where it's like, what's happening in Area 51? Couldn't care less. Like, that's a conspiracy theory, but I'm like, whatever. I like the ones that are like very scientific dependent.
Okay.
So like theoretical physics, there's a lot of like, it's all conspiracy theories backed by maths if the maths existed.
Oh, so you think a couple of hypotheses, technically, they're just conspiracy theories backed by science.
They are conspiracy theories backed by science if the science existed.
That's very interesting, actually. I never thought about that.
So I was like, during, like, when you said, "Oh, we're doing conspiracy theories," I was like, what could I, do? And then the conspiracy theories I googled were so dead. It's like Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, that's
I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna do a podcast on this. And then
Illuminati.
and then I was just thinking of like all the theoretical physics stuff that's going on. Things with like black holes, white holes, stars, neutron stars, and like basically just space stuff, because all of that is like, you don't understand it. I like that type of stuff.
I think that's interesting, actually, because that coincides with the theory, the psychological theory, which is that you're trying to make sense of something where currently there's no explanation.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's more interesting for you, which is actually why you would like those sorts of conspiracy theories.
Exactly. Like, I couldn't care less if a Loch Ness monster existed or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
or Bigfoot. Mate, I'm not going to go in the woods anytime soon and be like, "Oh, there's no Bigfoot here." I'm going to like run away. True.
No, but there is, there's loads of different theories out there. You actually mentioned Bigfoot. There's actually a popular subgenre called humanoids.
Oh,
there's a whole thing about them. Just it's the name doesn't do any justice. It's literally just creatures or animals that exist, which have been classified apparently. Because apparently, if someone finds an animal, they want to keep it secret. That's the idea behind those.
That's why I don't enjoy them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the space ones are always interesting, but I never see them as conspiracy theories. I see them differently because I don't know. I just in my mind I've always differentiated between both.
The thing is they're backed by like hypothetical science. But then if you look at a definition of a conspiracy theory or a conspiracy, it's the art of finding something you don't understand or a different perspective or finding a different truth to it and applying it to that.
By definition, I think is correct. But I think that the thing about conspiracy theories that makes them more not interesting, but why they call it conspiracy theories is because it hits closer to home.
Yeah.
I feel like space is so out there, but when you talk about presidents and something going on, it's just so close, you know?
I feel like, social media or like social circles and stuff like that have put a different twist on conspiracy theories, which is why you probably don't expect like theoretical physics or like maths or like hypothetical maths and stuff like that to be conspiracy theories. You just expect it to be either science or it's not.
Well, technically, if you think about it, there is one conspiracy theory out there which is very popular, and it's technically about something which is a scientific fact.
Yeah.
Which is the flat Earth. So technically, that is,
Yeah, but the thing is, that's so hard proven by science that like you can't be like, it's not flat.
But I suppose those people,
those people are gone. Like,
but they would actually agree with you in a way that say, well, science is not proven, so technically it can't really be proven.
But science has proven that the Earth is round.
But they would say in response
but they would say in
science as in nature cannot be proven 100%.
Yeah, I guess,
Which, and again, it's hard to actually argue with that.
Okay,
what can you tell them?
I enjoy common sense in my conspiracy theories.
Well, exactly. No, but this is the thing about conspiracy theories is that whenever someone believes it, look, let's be honest, as stupid as humans can be, majority of them are not stupid enough to just go with a theory for no reason.
Yeah.
There's something that's attracting them towards it.
Yeah, exactly, definitely.
Right? And I suppose I actually know some flat earthers. And what they tell me is that they don't necessarily believe the Earth is flat, but they don't also necessarily believe that it's round. So that's where they're coming from.
Yeah,
take of that what you will. But yeah, that's what they say. They say everything could be forged. And I said, what's the reason for it? They're like, we don't know. It could be anything. I'm like, but it is. You know what? It's
the thing is, if you take that concept onto like everything else, then you just
nothing
go down
is
this.
Certain.
Yeah, you just go down this hole like where everything is forged. And it's just like, mate,
but it could be. You never know.
Okay.
It could be. Your whole world could be a lie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really affect you because
I lie to myself every day anyway, so it's the same thing.
You never know. But you know what? That is what makes conversation so popular. That's what makes it really interesting. That's when you go down to Reddit, you spend hours just going through it.
That's why you enjoy things like the elevator game.
I do, yeah. I don't actually enjoy it. I enjoy the stories behind it, but it's just a stupid game. But yeah, little hint, maybe that's coming up next video.
You never know.
But yeah, I think we shall begin with the first conspiracy. Now, I'm going to only keep it to 2, but there is quite a lot of detail in this.
Okay.
And I don't really know how I'm going to describe it to you. But what I want is initially just your reaction.
Okay.
And whether you think...
So give me the main punchline. What's the main conspiracy of the first?
Yeah, so I'm going to go a bit...
and then explain.
Brief first.
Yeah.
Like a whole concept. First thing I want you to do is tell me whether you believe it, you think it's real or not.
Oh, if it's actually a conspiracy theory or if it's not.
If it's not even conspiracy, if you think the conspiracy theory is just completely made up.
Yeah.
Or something similar.
So either you just like sat in your car and wrote this, or it's actually something that a lot of people believe.
Yep. Or I found it on a random thread and that person wrote it in their car.
Okay.
And on a Reddit thread or something. Yeah. They said, I found the story. But to be honest with you, afterwards, you may actually recognize it's quite a famous potential theory.
Okay.
It used to be, not anymore. But there was an event that happened. So this was in America, of course, from the Nevada lines through Phoenix. So that sort of world. I'm just letting you know, they're creating that scene for you. But the theory goes that around the time between 7:30 and 10:30, so within that night time as well, sort of dusk as well, going towards night, there were strange sequences of lights and orbs that were seen within the sky. Now, what happened is that these were described differently by different people. Some described them as orbs, some described them as just plain lights, and some described them as either being separate or being as part of one single massive sequence.
Okay.
But the most consistent thesis or the consistent thing is that they all had a similar shape.
Yeah.
So it was like a V shape within the sky. And the story also goes that many people in the government who saw it have yet to explain what it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the government, these are being main faces within that state / region, they still cannot explain what it is, and they don't necessarily know the answer either to this day.
Okay.
Now, I did not go into too much detail, but do you think this actually happened or it didn't?
It happened.
Yeah. What makes you think that?
Because I've heard it.
What's it called?
I don't know what it's called. It's like the Phoenix, or like Arizona Lights or Phoenix Lights, something like that.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think I read it somewhere or like just heard it on like a BuzzFeed, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you probably just it from BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
They do a lot of conspiracy theories, but the reason why I wanted to mention this one is because this one is completely different to any other conspiracy theories. Again, we wanted to avoid the Bigfoot ones. We wanted to focus on these ones. Now, the thing about the Phoenix Lights, and that's what's called, it's called the Phoenix Lights, the name of the whole thesis, but the stats of it actually quite, like, this theory isn't just people saying some stuff.
Yeah.
There's actually arguably some really good evidence for it, of it happening.
Yeah.
And then from it actually happening, which you can't really deny, what you then perceive it to be, that is open to interpretation. These are when the conspiracy theories come in.
Yeah.
Now, I'll just give you some facts. So the lights, varying in description, as mentioned, was actually seen by thousands of people between 7:30 and 10:30.
Okay.
And it was in a span of about 300 miles. And that was from the Nevada line through towards Phoenix, to the edge of Tucson.
Yeah.
Now, there were two distinct events involved in the incident. Triangular formation, lights seen to pass over state, and a series of stationary lights seen in the Phoenix area. So these sequences, which are in a V shape, they passed over towards the state, and then at the same time in Phoenix area, they just stood there.
Yeah, they just chilled there.
And it's literally a perfect like triangle as well. They were very consistent. Now, the U.S. Air Force identified the second group of lights as flare dropped by the A-10. It's just an aircraft based on a training exercise. But witnesses claim to have observed a huge carpenter square-shaped UFO containing 5 spherical, possibly light-emitting engines. And this is where it gets strange as well. So some people did want to dismiss it as planes. They said these are just planes in the sky.
Yeah.
But what makes it odd is, first of all, a lot of people reported seeing them as being stationary, which is very hard for a plane to do in that perfect sequence. Like, just to stay still, hover within that perfect formation. Also, and I found this out actually recently as well, apparently no planes were reported at the time during that incident, during that whole evening.
So like, like on the radar.
Exactly. There was nothing on the radar at all. There were no radio signals for planes coming in from blah, blah, blah. There was nothing reported during those times. And here's the crazy part as well. Allegedly, there were 700 witnesses, including pilots, civilians, and officials. So I'm not sure if you heard of this theory. It's called the testimony theory. A philosopher wrote it, and he said that based on the amount of testimonies you receive, people saying something, it dictates whether it's true or more true or not.
Yeah.
This is a theory, but if you're going by that, with 700 witnesses, it happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your reaction towards it? Do you think that it actually did happen? First of all, let's just go with that.
My point of view, so because you said, like, obviously there's that theory where, if X amount of people see it or have a similar testimony, it gives it like a higher percentage of truthfulness. I'd say, yeah, I agree. Like, it probably did happen. What it was, no one knows. But aliens is something that I've always thought are real. And I've always thought, like, yeah, that is real, that there's other beings and stuff. If they visited us already, I don't know, because the thing is, you get such different things from different people. But the Phoenix Lights is something that's like, because of how many people saw it and how many people have the similar reaction, I'd say it's probably one of the most definitive evidence of something being wrong and no one being able to explain what happened. So what if it's aliens, or if it's like a top secret plane, or if it's like a testing of a plane, or if it's a testing of something, we don't know. But did it happen? Probably, most likely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some video evidence towards it as well. A lot of the news coverage was showing what it looks like. So if you guys want to check it out, it is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Highly recommend you do, because it's very interesting. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Everyone does know it happened, because when you have that much testimony and video evidence, you can't really deny it. Again, the question is what it is. Now, UFO just means unidentified flying object. So by definition, it is a UFO.
Yeah.
Unless the government knows something that we don't. But so there was a woman on city council called Frances Barwood, and she actually during the meeting got up and asked, "We need to find out what this thing is, and why it was there." This is her saying it. So you think of that what you will, but apparently everyone sort of stood up, looked at her, and just thought. Sorry, they stayed sitting down. They looked at her and just went quiet.
Yeah,
like looking like, and then someone apparently came up to say, "You shouldn't have asked that question."
Okay,
and
I don't know how truthful that is.
We don't know how truthful it is, but this part is true as well. This part is true. She actually wanted to talk about it, but of course the city council said no. So instead, a lot of people came up to her and gave the testimony and what they thought it was, and their different accounts and witnesses.
Okay.
She then published papers on it as well.
Yeah.
I.e. the witnesses, the different testimonies from different people. She's actually the one who brought that evidence out to the people. And funny enough, you know the actual mayor himself, Mr. Fife. I forgot his surname.
Mr. Faiq.
Not Faiq. No, it wasn't me. I wasn't alive back then. Actually, no, I was 1 year old. You never know. Maybe I did crazy things. I just forgot about it. But
it turns out we're in an anime with Faiq being the main character.
But I seem to have forgotten his surname. I had it written down here, which is really annoying. Very professional.
It's all right, man.
But anyway, and he actually, he's really interesting because he had a bunch of press conferences, which you can actually see on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And initially, he came on and he said, "I know exactly what happened. I know who's responsible. Here's this person. A man came in dressed as an alien."
Yeah.
So he wasn't really taking it seriously at all. He's just sort of faffing around.
Oh my God.
But
that's such a legendary move.
Yeah, but he then did claim afterwards that him as a pilot, he's never seen anything like it, and it is definitely a UFO.
Yeah.
And his office actually inquired to the state about what this thing was or how they can help, i.e. how they can help them, and he never got an answer. Now, in government, if you request something, you're not always going to get it.
Yeah,
that's
you're not always going to get a response.
It doesn't really mean anything. Yeah. But when you have a major event like that, where a lot of the public have got their eyes on it, I mean, you tell me, ideally you would want some sort of explanation where they can tell the public and their minds are at ease. They decided not to say anything. What do you think about that?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what you... Like in hindsight, maybe you do things differently, or because you don't know what it is, you don't want to give it a lot of publication and then make it a big world news for it to then happen again. To say if someone like... Okay, so imagine that aircraft. Well, it's an aircraft. Yeah. So if that aircraft was an enemy nation's aircraft, and then everyone comes. Okay, say the country comes out. Oh yeah, it was just a random plane. It was flying by. End of story. You just get more and more questions. Why is it flying by? Who's it owned by? Who's doing it? If you say, "Oh, it wasn't us," and it's like, "Are we being attacked? Is there a war? Is this happening? Is that happening?" And there's a lot of finger pointing and blaming. If you just stay quiet and let people think what they're thinking without a definitive answer, yes, you're not giving them ease, but you're also not letting their minds go somewhere else and be like, oh, it could have been Russia, it could have been China, it could have been these guys, and they're trying to attack us. That's the worst, I'd say, consequence of coming out with a certain story.
So do you think that if they knew what it was, they wouldn't say anything either way?
No.
So for them, it's a lose-lose if they know or they don't know.
If they know and they say, oh, it was ours, other nations know what they're doing. If they say it wasn't ours, then people would be like, it's not our countries, it's another country's. Yeah. What country? And then if you just give a random finger point, which usually happens, like, oh, it could have been from Europe, it could have been from Asia, we tracked it coming from this angle, so that angle means this happens and that happens. You know how people are anyway. Even with like planes going missing, people are so accurate with, oh, it came in from this angle, from that side, so that means it's coming from this direction, it had that much fuel. And it's just like, you give any sort of hint like that, then it's like, people will make dots wherever they want to make dots, and they'll draw the lines where they want to draw the lines.
That's true, yeah. I mean, for them, the silence is what it is.
Silence is bad, but it's the best outcome if you don't know what it is. Because honestly, for something like that and something that technologically advanced, If you owned it, you would never say it.
You know what? Usually I would agree, but because we're talking about America in the 90s, not 90s wasn't particularly bad, but you are talking about America. Let's be honest, America don't really hide what they have. They really like to show the rest of the world what they are capable of.
They do, but not if they're doing something technologically advanced. But any nation that's showed anything technologically advanced has always been taken over.
No, but by America.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If America says, "Oh, we're technologically advanced in this area," it's so easy for that technology to then just be taken.
Oh, and if you want
the technology, and obviously not the whole aircraft and the bombardment of America, that would never happen. But like the concept of the technology or the way the technology is formed will always be taken, and it's always easily taken.
Well, what's scarier, it being an alien or it being potentially America or another country? And don't forget, America, just a country who has that sort of technology, which is so beyond our imagination.
If it's another country, there's two ways to look at it. Damn, like, bro.
Yeah.
And another thing is like, damn, like, that's sick. There's two dams. There's damn, like, oh God, let's not mess with them. And then there's damn, that's sick.
Well, look, here's where we're going to go deep in the conspiracy side of things, which is the alien side, because that's what a lot of people think it is. Mm-hmm. The thing that about aliens, which makes it a little bit more comforting than I think, it's going to sound weird, but I think it makes it more comforting than like a ghost or Loch Ness Monster. Or Bigfoot. Yeah. The reason why it's more comforting is because aliens, by their definition or I suppose the concept, they always imagine as being more technological advanced. Yeah. Just because of where we're positioned in the universe, theoretically. But also, they're also quite far away from home in a way. Yeah. So even if they do visit us, we are in a way inferior. But they have all this technology, and if they would have made a move, they would have done so by now. Yeah. So the fact that they haven't means that they care for us to an extent, and because they're not directly going to war in any sort of capacity. Yeah. It's a bit more comforting knowing that there's a being out there who could destroy us, but they don't. So it's not. You know the way I think of it is the worst thing in the world is an idiot with power, because an idiot with power will start wars right, left, center. Yeah. What you need is someone intelligent who knows war is not the great outcome. Yeah. So aliens being more intelligent than us, if they are, then they wouldn't want that, and they would sort of stop wars happening, like a zookeeper almost. Yeah. So that's why it's a bit more comforting to talk about aliens than it is something that's more closer to home.
I think a lot of things you can always like disregard and blame on something else. Or even with ghosts, when you have a fear of ghosts and you see a door close up, it's the wind. Yeah. The most comforting thing is the wind. You can't see wind, you can't control it, so it can do whatever it wants. Mm-hmm. Even with aliens, it's like if something unnatural happens, especially if something's flying, you just go, "Oh, it's aliens," and that's purely because you don't understand the concept. You know, the word alien means something technologically advanced than you.
Alien just means something out of this world. Like it's alien to me. It's something I don't recognize.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something that. So the whole concept is like, oh, it can't be produced on this earth. It's not that dangerous. Yeah. Because for it to be dangerous, it needs to be produced on this earth. And like you said, an idiot needs to have it in power. Yeah. But if something technologically advanced is just coming like every couple of years just to have a look at us and then walking away, who cares?
You know, honestly, that's one of the theories. Hi guys, sorry to disturb your programming. We shall be resuming shortly. Just thought I'll drop by and let you guys know, please like and subscribe our videos. Please give us a follow on Instagram, Spotify, all of our social media platforms. Our link tree would be in the link below. So in the links below. Again, we're working really hard on this podcast. We're just starting off, so we do need you guys to support as much as possible. Also, please do check out our app. It's coming very soon. It's called WATTPOD. As you guys know, nowadays making bookings is essential. One way we strive to actually make your lives easier is by creating this app for you guys where you can book in any appointments that you need. And that's not just limited to barbershops. You can use any sort of beauticians as well. Anything that needs an appointment, WATTPOD will be on there. So please do keep an eye on that. The app is coming very, very soon. And yeah, now back to the great one and only What a Time to Podcast. Okay, so the interesting thing is a lot of people's theory of what the Phoenix Lights are is that some aliens came down that were just passing over. Yeah. Had a quick glance at Earth they stay there, looked at it, they were like, yeah, it's not for me, and they literally just bounced because they
They
never
saw
really did
Americans
anything.
and they were like, nah, not for me.
Well, no, but that's what it is, because they believe there are some other aliens which have been in the works looking.
Yeah.
Believe Phoenix Light were another bunch of aliens who just left, because it's almost like tourism for them. Like,
Yeah.
imagine you're going to a zoo and you see this animal and you just leave.
Hmm.
And because look, aliens would be more careful, be a bit more subtle.
Yeah.
These aliens don't care because they want nothing to do with Earth. So they just looked at them and they just left. So that's what the theory is. And
I'd say it makes sense because,
makes sense, yeah.
to be honest, when you're window shopping, you just look. You don't really go inside.
Yeah.
You're looking like, not for me, and you just move on.
And you just
If
go,
you don't,
boom.
if you don't find what you need, you just move on. And to be honest, with the time they were there for like 3 hours, and if they can like stand still like that, they can probably scan the whole Earth if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, if you just think of like theoretically, they could have done whatever they wanted there. They could have grabbed what they needed and left anyway.
Yeah, they could have placed, I don't know, some sort of cameras on the Earth.
Yeah, they could have
just
placed
left.
like a waypoint and be like, yeah, this is our new GPS system. Just go past Earth and then go here.
They just installed the 4G network.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, let's just like drop a satellite. Let's move on.
Yeah.
They could have done literally anything in those 3 hours and then just pieced out.
Yeah, and that's what makes it, I suppose, like we could do nothing about it either. Like there's so many other aliens theories. There's actually one theory which I just thought I'd really mention quickly.
Yeah.
But apparently, some people believe that when you go out in space, there's actually a bunch of different hovercrafts and UFOs just hovering about.
Yeah.
And apparently the astronauts in the US government, or some officials in the US government, are aware of those.
Okay.
But they've told all the astronauts that they cannot mention it at all. And some people's basis on that theory, by the way, there's actually people who are teams who are actually talking about this theory in detail. One guy came on Impulsive Podcast and talked about it. But apparently the theory goes that these astronauts, they come back and you see their look on their faces.
Yeah.
And they look quite like shocked and pale. And that's because they went up in space,
Yeah.
went on the moon potentially as well, maybe a couple of them in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they just saw a bunch of different hovercrafts around them, which were all these different aliens.
Yeah.
So the way people link the Phoenix Lights is that this one hovercraft just went a bit far, didn't really like what they saw, and then they just bounced. Whereas the other ones are still hovering around Earth.
Just watching. And then you can never really tell because there's so many like satellite and so much like space rubbish that we do.
There's so much, yeah.
Space litter that we have ourselves.
And the government has confirmed this month that there are UFO sightings. There's one particular video clip of this pilot following this object.
And then it whizzes off really quickly, isn't it?
It goes really quickly. He somehow catches it, and then he sees it go from like top of the hemisphere
Yeah.
down towards just above the sea, and like that in a flash of a light. And so that there's no other aircraft that can do that. And the way it was rotating around the sky, it's actually going like this, like orbiting. And that's been confirmed. So there is some credibility now, which has been confirmed by the US government.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not even that hard to think of like
It's
someone
not,
or something being more technologically advanced.
Yeah, I mean, that concept
Because if you
is
think
simple,
of like how far we went in like the last 30 years from brick phones to like these like iPhones and everything, like these cameras that we're using and everything, it's just mad. It's madness.
Even concepts like Wi-Fi and fiber optic,
Yeah.
like this was not a thing.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, like it's just Bluetooth seems ancient now.
Bro,
as well.
imagine when I was back in like high school and someone told me how AirPods worked, and I was like, "Shut up, bro! There's no way that works."
And it's literally what, like 10 years ago.
Apple Watches and stuff like that. I'm like, no, "Shut up, bro! There's no way."
And imagine that 100 years ago. Explain that to someone. Now.
Yeah, exactly.
There is some, you just don't know. You just don't know. But there is one more theory that I thought I'd just mention, just because I thought I'd do this. This was not going to be as long, but I just want your reaction on it. So we went from sort of something that you would like to something that you may even dislike, because this is purely.
This is a fake one.
No, well. Okay, so this is more about history.
Okay.
Something historical rather than something a bit more technology advanced. We're going a bit too far. Let's tone it down. Let's go back in the past for a bit.
Okay.
Atlantis.
Is it true or fake?
Yes.
Is that what you asked me?
That is. What's your idea of Atlantis? Whatever it is.
I'd say a concept of Atlantis can be true,
Mm-hmm.
but is it an Atlantis with like mermaids, fishermen? I don't know, because we don't know what is in the ocean. Even like nowadays, we're still finding new different species of fishes and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what's in the ocean. Like that's the most undiscovered. We've discovered more of space than we've discovered the ocean, right?
It's crazy, man.
That tells you something, yeah?
Yeah.
So could there be a concept or a form of Atlantis? Yes. Is it fishermen and mermaids? I don't think so.
Well, here's the thing. There's another truth as well, which I found out recently, which is that, the whole idea of the earth having the mantle, the cross, and the core,
Yeah,
that's purely theoretical. There's no evidence for that at all.
because they can't prove it.
Because they can't prove it.
Yeah.
So there could be anything. It could be all ocean. You just don't
Have you
know.
heard of the theory? This is actually okay, we're probably spiraling off, but
No.
have you heard of the theory why planes can't fly over the North Pole?
No.
Because, so there's a
Because
circular
the world
area.
ends because it's flat, so it just
So they just
drops
fall
away.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Why didn't
but
I
but
think
what's
of that?
what's the mainstream theory?
Maybe the lights was another planet just spitting past us as a flat Earth.
You never know.
Ridiculous. Anyway, right. So there's a theory why you can't fly over the North Pole, and it coincides with there's no truth to cross mantle core, and that's basically on the North Pole where you can't fly over. There's a passageway to an inner Earth.
Okay.
So there's an Earth inside Earth, and there's people living inside that.
Wow.
And that also coincides with another concept of Atlantis.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Because what people assume is Atlantis is water and there was a city there and it's gone. But what people say is that's a real Atlantis. There's a place, there's people, there's higher beings or whatever living inside of the earth, and you access it from the North Pole because there's an area where no one can travel from.
Well, here's the interesting part. I'm actually happy you mentioned that. We did not plan this at all. But there's another theory that coincides with that, and it's about caves. Now, bear with me, but because we don't know what's inside Earth,
Yeah.
there are, and this is the truth, there are caves which are so large, when you go inside,
Yeah.
it has its own jungle and it has its own environment.
It's
an
got its own
ecosystem.
cloud system area, everything's its own.
And that's truth, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that there could be Earth within Earth is not as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Because you could, even in the Earth, there could be caves which have completely different Earths. Like you could have inside an Earth even like a bigger place because it could be even deeper. You just don't know.
Yeah, because they even say there's a lake under the earth that could refill the whole ocean 10 times, 20 times. There's that big of a pot of water just chilling under earth. So if you can discover that and figure that out, you don't know what's inside earth. That's what I was saying. You know how we're oh, maybe it's higher beings and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, we barely know our own earth. Maybe those lights were caused by earth. Maybe it was caused by different atmospheric pressures and whatever happening.
It could still be beings from this earth.
Yeah, the same way people didn't understand lightning first, and now they understand what lightning is.
Well, you know what? This is what makes Atlantis really interesting, because the whole idea of having mermaid people.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, that's got nothing to do with it.
Thank God.
that was just created by DC Comics, who've done a brilliant job, by the way. DC all the way. Just why I mentioned that plug. WATTPOD all the way as well, because we have to mention that.
But coming soon.
Coming soon actually. Yeah,
very
soon. But the thing about Atlanteans is that the basic concept is there's a civilization that used to exist and flourish about 9,000 years ago. And due to sea levels and a massive flood, the city just flooded.
The thing is, I understand that concept. Because we know the Ice Age happened.
Yep, it did.
So that means North Pole, South Pole were mad big. So then if for them to be the small they are now, it means it has to melt. And where does it go? It goes onto the earth.
Let me give you a bit more background, which is going to be really interesting.
Think about that.
But have you heard of the philosopher Plato?
Plato?
Yeah.
No.
Have you heard of Socrates?
Yeah.
So Plato is not Socrates, but is...
The Arsenal defender.
Definitely not him. So Plato is... the reason I mention Socrates is because he's like a classic old philosopher.
Yeah.
And a lot of different philosophical beliefs nowadays stem from his writings.
Yeah.
So he's like an OG basically of this game. But honestly, he is.
OG conspiracy theorist.
I study philosophy, so I know this guy's an OG. But he has a dialogue in Timaeus and Critias, and he mentioned the existence of Atlantis in there. And this is what he said. He said he actually learned about the existence of this gigantic island, which is quote unquote larger than Libya and Asia together.
Okay.
And he claims that he got it from a guy called Solon, who drafted the Athenian constitution.
Yeah.
The actual Athenian constitution, democracy essentially, was crafted by this man. So basically, he's not a he's a bright lad.
He's not a nobody. He understands.
Yeah, he understands. He's quite historical.
A man to make democracy knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. Yeah. He's not just the crazy nutcase with like a tinfoil hat on. Maybe he does have a tinfoil hat on. You don't know what the fashion is nowadays. Back then, sorry. But he in turn apparently heard about the island from an Egyptian priest. And he told him about an extraordinary developed civilization that flourished some 9,000 years earlier.
Yeah.
And that's the basic idea of it. Now, there are some links to the Atlanteans in historical locations. So, for example, there's a Greek island of Santorini, which is destroyed by a volcanic eruption around 1600 BC.
Yeah.
So there are some evidence of some civilizations existing before.
Yeah, and then not.
Which vanished. Yeah. Like, literally, they were there.
And then they're gone.
No one knows what happened to them.
Yeah,
and there's no descendants. And again, if they... And this goes on with the theory. There are some evidences that a lot of these civilizations are more advanced than us. If they're that advanced, you think a natural disaster would happen.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd have a plan B?
Of course.
And that's where the whole theory comes from. They believe the Atlanteans still exist. Could be Middle Earth, form of Middle Earth. They exist somewhere, and they call us the surface dwellers. And rather than coming up and destroying us, I mean, it's working well so far. We're living our lives; they're living theirs.
Yeah.
Why ruin that?
I mean, they could just like pop up, and be like, "It's not coming home."
Yeah, it's not. I'm going to take it right now. Well. That's the basic idea of Atlanteans. Now there is some negative connotations towards it. So, for example, the Nazis believed that they were pure Germans were descendants of these Atlanteans.
Yeah,
and they were these dominant races.
The thing is, I feel like although Atlantis is like also like this fairy tale, it's also like had a big impact just in history in general as well.
It has more ways than one. The concept of
Atlantis is like crazy.
Well, a lot of people take their philosophical beliefs as Atlanteans as their ideal, like humans.
Yeah.
Because they're more advanced than humans.
Yeah.
So the Nazis literally believed these Atlanteans existed.
Yeah.
Germans are direct descendants. That's where the blue eyes and the blonde hair came from. Because that's how they look like. And these guys are the beings, the future. And that's what Hitler believed as well. Not everyone in the Nazi regime believed it, but Hitler believed it. And that's where the whole idea of, this super German man came from. Yeah. And that's what they were striving for. They're actually striving to create a race similar to the Atlanteans. That was the whole purpose. So anyone who's not a descendant towards it were literally inferior because they're not of the same race.
I don't know.
A lot of impact. There's actually another philosopher who turned up the term Übermensch, which means Superman. His idea was that these humans, which are devoid of any morals or religion or anything, any beliefs, they become this incredible being.
Yeah.
And some people would say the idea and the term of Atlanteans, it comes from that, it dwells from that. So even though we don't know if it exists or not, probably doesn't, but you never know.
Yeah.
Even the concept itself has had huge historical impact within our world. Which makes you think maybe that's what they wanted.
Maybe.
To see what happens.
Maybe our history is all fake. Anyway.
Maybe it is.
That's another story. You know, Joy Boy.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for this week. We've seen a large amount of time.
It's been a longer one this week, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's been much more interesting than the last two, I guess.
Well, you know what it is? We are going to try and cut it out if you guys are bored. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
If you did, actually let us know, because we have another certain format as well, which we're going to try out, which is going to be pure stories.
Yeah.
Get ready to be scared.
Story on story, and maybe the lights will go out, but the lights are going out on the podcast today. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. The director's come back to eat. And yeah, anything else you want to say?
Nothing at all. Just watch out for the lights. Watch out for Atlantis.
Watch out for the Phoenix lights. Maybe they come the London lights.
Yep. McGregor, hope you get well soon. England, I hope you guys get well soon. And I hope that humble pie tastes really nice.
Other than the humble pie, social media is a platform where people come together, not to tear each other apart.
Yep.
And recently, obviously, England lost the Euros, so a lot of players and a lot of people have been getting abused. A lot of fans started attacking each other, attacking Italians, attacking our own British, public as well. So we just want to say, chill out, relax yourself. It's a football game. Things happen. You don't blame each other. You don't blame races. You don't blame Black people for certain things, Asians for certain things, white people for certain things. we're all humans. We all have brains. We all have our own minds. We know what we're doing. We know every step we're taking. So chill out, love each other, care for each other, take care of each other. We're in a pandemic already. Don't make it worse, I guess.
Yeah.
So just care for each other, take care of each other. And just love each other, man. There's no need for hate and hatred. We all know how it turns out in history. History tells us a lot about hatred. So chill out, guys. Take a little chill pill, man.
Yeah, I think just go on that message as well. I think the FA said it quite best. Look, like we stand with our players. The thing is, those athletes have sacrificed a lot for the nation, and they historically, I mean, this is the first time we've been in the final since '66, and here at WATTPOD, we definitely are against. We condemn any sort of racist acts.
Yeah,
and this is racism. It's just in the purest form. Violence of any kind is wrong, of course, but when you have a hatred ideology behind it, it's a bit more sinister.
Yeah,
and I think, look, most of the public are against this, and we respect that. But I do encourage those who are against it to speak up a bit more.
Yeah,
if you see it, call it out. If you want to stand by it, do what you can. I'm not asking for much, but I do think it goes a long way. If you do, everyone
100%.
does their part. And look, a lot of people on social media are standing by their players. That's great, but we as a nation definitely need to do better.
Yeah, 100%. You can't mock Italians for being racist and then be more worse than them. You can't just pretend there's nothing like that going on here. There is that happening, so take care, love each other.
Yeah, there'll always be it, but let's do our part.
Yeah. Anyway, other than the weird conspiracies and the morbid ending, take care, guys. Enjoy your evening or day.
Yeah.
And stay safe. Peace out.